Hi, I'm Michael, host of the Prime Barrel Show. Today we are in beautiful Bardstown, which is synonymous with whiskey. It's an epicenter of Kentucky whiskey. Some of the most iconic brands are located in this little town. Today we are going to select the killer barrel together with Brent Elliott and check out some of the local attractions. Follow me. As we pull up to Four Roses, you can't help but be in awe. This distillery is placed on a beautiful stretch of rolling hills just south of Lawrenceburg, and its buildings are truly some of the most beautiful pieces of architecture you will come across on any distillery. Greeting us when we pull up is Four Roses Master Distiller, Mr. Brent Elliott. Hi there.
Hey guys, welcome to Four Roses.
Nice to meet you finally in person.
Very nice to meet you.
Brent is a titan of the industry and has led Four Roses to being one of the top brands in the United States. Let's see what insight Brent has into the Four Roses brand and his own journey.
But now we're standing in front of the historic Four Roses Distillery. This was built in 1910, started distilling in 1911. It's interesting, you'll notice that this is kind of out of place here in Kentucky, the Spanish mission style architecture. Yeah. But clearly we love it. Every new building that goes up on site, as this is the original, all these other buildings were built well after this, but they're all still created in that same style, that Spanish mission.
Any significance for that bell?
Not really, but of course we love it.
Works great. Does it work?
It's not really functional.
All right. Okay, so now we can 100% confirm that the bell beckoning all who come to this distillery doesn't actually function. Hey, it looks nice though. You kind of alluded to it before. You came to the distillery in 2005.
Yes.
How did you get your start in the industry?
It's interesting. I really hadn't planned on it. My background's chemistry. I've always loved science and understanding how things work. And of course, I've always appreciated bourbon, being a native Kentuckian. In 2005, I was actually living in Tennessee. I just got married, just bought a house. We thought our lives were kind of planned out for us. And then we took a trip, came back to Kentucky, and I took a tour of Woodford Reserve. And I pretty much decided, it's like, this is what I want to do. Yep. Found a job for a distillery that I had not really heard of, Four Roses. So I was like, well, as long as it's a cool place and everyone's nice and I enjoy the experience at Four Roses, this might be the place for me.
I can't think of worse places to work.
Oh yeah, it's been fantastic.
So this might be a loaded question, but with every change of guard, I should say.
Yes.
When master distillers, change guards, what have you been able to achieve that hasn't been done with Four Roses before?
I feel like we've been growing so rapidly and there's so much change with the expansion and just trying to keep up with demand. My primary goal since I took over, which was almost 8 years ago, has been to maintain the quality and the consistency of what got us to where we are. When you undertake a project like the expansion that we did, which was essentially doubling our capacity, there really isn't much room at that point. I didn't feel like my priority was to make my mark on or change anything that we were doing. It was just to continue the legacy and maintain the integrity of the brand and the quality of the liquid.
Understand. Four Roses prides itself on trying to deliver as consistent of a product in each and every bottle. They do this in their own and unique way. Through their embrace of old and new technologies, you can tell that Brent and the Four Roses team deeply care about delivering the product in a consistent fashion that is both efficient and also utilizes the ways of the past.
What really makes us unique is our use of 10 different recipes. And the way we achieve that is we begin with 2 different mash bills or grain recipes. So we start out with those 2 bases, and then on either one of those, we inoculate and ferment with one of 5 different yeast strains. Historically, we use these 10 recipes for consistency, in particular for our Four Roses bourbon product. If you look at the regulations of bourbon, I think, to me, the most important one, and they're all important if you want to make straight bourbon whiskey, but the one that states you can't adulterate the flavor or color any way, that essentially says it's an all-natural product.
Right.
We can't tweak it.
Right.
We can't cheat.
Right.
Everything that comes out of every individual barrel is at the mercy of all these little parameters, all these little factors, from where the grain was grown, the weather at that time, to the milling conditions, the fermentation conditions. We needed a way to maintain consistency every time we bottled our product. And with the 10 recipes, we had that versatility. We had that ability to tweak the final recipe to hit certain flavor targets.
The fact that you guys are using wooden tanks, is this just remnants of the past and tradition?
It is, yeah. We do have a mix. We have 2 kinds of wood. This is red cypress. These are all being replaced each year during shutdown. We're replacing several of these this year with Douglas fir. We also have some stainless fermenters also. Really in this room, we have tours that come through here. It's nice, it's traditional. We like the wood. And we wouldn't really have an option. Like if we wanted to bring a stainless fermenter in here, we couldn't.
Right.
We'd have to take the roof off.
That's right.
Yeah,
I've been to many
they look
distilleries.
nice.
I'm somewhat of a whiskey nomad, but I've only seen wood tanks in one other place.
Okay.
Makers. So.
Okay.
I've never
Heavy
been
CO2
to Four
environment.
Roses before. My first impression is that it is a unique balance of history and sheer size. Normally you get one or the other, right? Either it's craft and small and cute, or it's just a massive production. You have both, and they coexist nicely.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we try to incorporate as much technology as we can for consistency, but the way we do it really hasn't changed in decades.
Yeah.
The processes that are tried and true that create good bourbon, we maintain that. We choose technology and deeper understanding to capture what we're doing right and maintain that for every single batch that we produce.
Where do you draw the line between the history and between the innovation? And I know the trend right now is finished products, and people finish them in all kinds of crazy casks. What's your feeling about it? Do you think it's a fad? Do you think Four Roses will ever do something like that?
I think it's interesting. I like to see any kind of innovation, and especially now, you have to strike while the iron's hot, and there's so much interest in bourbon that now's the time that the consumers are there. They're curious and they want to see that kind of innovation. So we as companies have the ability, or we can justify trying different things. So I love that the industry is doing that, and I like a lot of barrel finishes. I don't know if we have any plans in the near future to explore that. I think part of our challenge is we've had such an amazing amount of growth that everything we've done has been just try to maintain the quality while growing almost exponentially.
We'll be back with Brent soon enough to pick our own barrel, but for now, let's step off the property and visit one of the coolest attractions that you can do during your stay in the bourbon country.
Hi, how are you? I'm Michael.
I'm Benny.
Nice to meet you, Benny.
Welcome to the dinner train.
Thank you. What is the dinner train?
Yeah, well, it's a excursion train through bourbon country where we serve a 5-star 4-course meal.
Looks fantastic and fun.
Yeah, it's a
Can we
blast.
check it out?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, cool. This is really cool. I haven't seen a train in a while. Like, States it's not commonplace here to see real trains. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Absolutely. So these cars were built in the late 1940s. They've been refurbished all in like 1940s style dining environment. One of them was actually, this one, we call it the Eisenhower car because it was actually on a funeral procession train for President Eisenhower. So our railroad runs right past, like you said, Four Roses, right past Jim Beam. And in fact, there's a trestle, a famous trestle called, it's in the middle of the Bernheim Forest. And it's a trestle that was built at the beginning of the Civil War, but it's one of the only wooden trestles that wasn't burned down during the Civil War. And we think it's probably because it transported bourbon to north and south alike. So nobody wanted to burn down the bridge.
That's really cool. I would love to stay inside. Is there any way we can check it out?
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. Oh, holy hell. This is fantastic.
That's right. This is a traditional railcar dining setup with tables of 4. Pretty standard what you would see in like 1940s.
This looks promising. What is that?
Yeah, this is we call it the Rusty Spike.
I wonder where it got its name.
Yeah, well, this is an actual authentic railroad spike that comes with it.
I thought that was a toothpick.
Yeah.
Do I need to take it out to drink it or not?
Well, you can if you want. I mean, I would. You don't want to get a bloody nose or something like that, so
Cheers.
take that out. Yeah, cheers.
So, talk to me about some of the history of this train. Is it family-owned business? Is it owned by some huge company?
Yeah, so this was purchased in 1987, actually founded in 1987 by a man named Rick Corman. And he's a well-known entrepreneur in the railroad world. This is the first railroad line he purchased. He purchased it in 1987. The dinner train started the year after. So
We obviously in Bardstown, right?
Right.
Bardstown is synonymous with whiskey.
absolutely.
There's so many iconic distilleries around here. Do you guys have any connection to the bourbon world at all?
Absolutely, yeah. We partner with a lot of distilleries. We have an excursion that we call the Bourbon Excursion. We partner with different distilleries at different times to come in, and what we do is we fill a rail car. We have a master distiller or a representative from a distillery to come and give us kind of a walkthrough of some of their products. So we do a tasting with each course. Each course comes out with a small little tasting and maybe a specialty cocktail at the end. As we drive past other distilleries, it talks about what we see out the window and what goes into the process, what makes their product special. So you get a little bit more of a glimpse behind the curtain, not at the distillery, but about the distillery.
And certainly tasting the final product,
Exactly.
which most people would want to do.
Yeah, and
So-
a lot of people call us the bourbon train.
That
They
is
call
awesome.
us
I
and say,
love
is
it.
this the bourbon train? We're like, yes.
This has been a great journey for me personally. I'm glad I ran into yourself and your wonderful train. This is fantastic. Thank you for your hospitality. I wish you nothing but the best.
Great, thanks
Cheers.
for coming. Yeah, cheers.
We make our way a few miles down the road to Four Roses Barrel House and Tasting Facility to select the prime barrel. The facilities and experience that Brent and his team provide are top-notch, and we can't wait to try our hand at these rare barrels and to take one home.
Welcome everyone to Four Roses, the Cox's Creek facility, where we warehouse and bottle all of our bourbon. And of course, you guys have the honor today of selecting a very special barrel that you guys purchased at auction to benefit the flooding in eastern Kentucky last year. So first, I want to thank you all for that. That means a lot to us. Without your help and help from others like you, it'd be even more difficult to surmount these kinds of events and tragedies. So,
A pleasure.
I want to thank you again. We've got 8 barrels that we've rolled out. These are special hand-selected barrels from batches that have a little bit of extra age on them.
There are some recipes that are more preferable than others, and there are some rickhouse locations that are more preferable than others. The thing about the prime barrel is that we always taste everything blind. So we're not swayed by the marketing component of these barrels.
As you'll see, the barrels are all behind you, but you can't tell what's what.
Right.
It's a much better approach just to look at each barrel without any preconceived notions, just judge each barrel on its own merit.
Yep.
And with that, we are tasting not 1, not 2, but 10 unique and distinct barrels, one for each recipe/yeast combinations that Four Roses produces. Typically, during our barrel picks, we are analyzing and breaking down only 3 or 4 barrels, so we have quite the task ahead of us. Over the next hour, we spend time with each sample, deciding what elements we prefer from each and comparing their differences across their palate, finish, and aroma.
All right, guys, we've spent a bit of time going through these 8 samples, and it's really difficult to pick one. They're all wonderful. We kind of knew this going in. Let's actually get to a final selection. We nailed down 8 beautiful, remarkable samples to final 2. So between the 2 that we liked, it's barrels 2 and 6. Barrel 2 is 16 years and 6 months old. Pretty amazing how great it tastes for the age. And number 6 is 15.6. So there's about a year difference. So as a team, let's pick one. So let's go around the room and reveal your favorite one.
Number 2 I like, has an excellent mid palate, very smooth.
Okay. What's the score for that?
898. Another thing that I like, I also like number 6, which is giving me a lot of fruity nose with a sour candy on the palate and long woody finish.
What are your scores to that?
That was 888, so 24.
Is that number 6?
Number 6.
The second one was one of my favorites as well. I scored it 787 for a total score of 22. First time I went through it, I actually thought it's pretty spicy and has a pretty short finish. Then I went back to it, and then I picked up the same exact notes you did, Gary, with a little bit of honey, with a bit of the pine as well, so it grew on me. Number 6 was also one of my favorites. I scored it, let's see, 888 across the board, so that's 24. For all the reasons guys already described, I'm not going to belabor the point. It feels like 6 is so far is in a lead in terms of what we like. So 6 is my favorite as well, one of my favorites.
Number 2, I was all over on the nose on this one because I had it a 7, then I had a 7.5. It has a dark molasses, sugary, and don't hate me, Brent, a Dr. Pepper smell, I call it. I'm going to give it a 7.5. And then it was very mild, sweet minty, which was pleasant. I gave it a 6 on the palate and had a very mild finish. And so I gave it a 6. Number 6, I gave it a 7.0. It was a brown sugar bomb to me. And then I got some honey, the graham crackers. Again, went to the palate. It was a wonderful, I liked it, had a great, just great mouthfeel. Again, when we got to the end, it was a medium to very pleasant finish, and I gave it a 7.
Number 2, on the nose, I found that it had a piney element, but also a honey element, which almost seemed opposite each other. But I really went back to it time and again, and then as we went through it, compared it to some of the others, and I came back to piney and honey, I scored that a 7. On the palate, I scored number 2 as an 8. I found butterscotch, I found toasted caramel, I found toffee, all those sweet spots, rich, deep sweet spots that are just marvelous from all these years in the barrel. And when I went back to it, I actually found just a light hint of mint, just the faintest mint, which I really, really enjoyed. So I scored it an 8 on palate. On finish, I gave number 2 an 8.5. And I found it to have a praline element in the finish, just that still continuing of that deep, rich, sweet flavor, and even a little floral element in the finish, which was absolutely divine, for a grand total of 23.5. Number 6, on the nose, I gave it an 8. I thought it had a sweeter element. I really enjoyed the nose. On the palate, I gave number 6 a 9, which I think is the highest I've ever given anything on the palate. It was smoky, a really nice smoke. I almost had a little concern, is it too much of a heavy char? And that's something in a discussion I'd love to hear other people's comments about sample number 6. Is it too much? But it was a smoky, heavy char. It had a long finish. I gave an 8 on the finish.
This is number 7?
This is still number 6. An 8 on the nose, a 9 on the palate, an 8 on the finish.
Okay.
Nice, long, well-developed finish for a total of 25.
It's incredibly close between these final 2 barrels, but there can only be one. Let's see which barrel is chosen to be the prime barrel.
This was really tough. God, I want both of them. But number 2 just has a little bit more than number 6, and it's my pick.
After going for second trying, number 2 would be my option.
It's number 2 for me. They're both great. I mean, I'm really splitting hairs. Sister barrels, which we are also getting a nice surprise from Brett. Thank you so much. Kind of like solidified that opinion. Like both number 2 barrels are awesome, and that's my pick as well.
So both are incredible barrels, and it is so razor thin. Both are exceptional representations of what Brent Elliott has produced here at Four Roses. But in the end, I would say that on nose, palate, and finish, my vote would also be for number 2.
So with that being said, the prime barrel is the barrel number 2. We're happy to have it. It's a fantastic barrel. They all were, but we're happy to have this one in particular. So guys, it's a fantastic year-old journey that concludes today. I thank you, and cheers.
Cheers.